the most beautiful places on earth. And because I was born and raised there, I can tell you this. Sadly, a lot of people don't know too much about my country. Or if they do, they usually have a wrong image about it. Let's take a quick look at what I found at the university when I asked them what they know about Colombia.
I really don't know.
Drugs, kidnapping, shooting, fighting, kills.
Romancing the Stone, I think, was filmed in
I don't really know.
Drugs, lots of violence.
Colombia?
Those are the frequent responses that I have to deal when I say that I'm from Colombia. This lack of knowledge that people have about my country is really sad and sometimes can be disturbing as well. Today I'm going to show you the real face of my country. I'm going to explain in a realistic way how drug market and violence have affected my country image through history. But first we need to understand all the drug issues and Colombian violence that have happened in the history. I can give you a deep analysis about this because I don't have enough time, but I will let you know what you need to know in order to understand Colombia's realities. We have this image, and we have this image for a reason. And I'm not going to lie to you. Understanding violence is a tricky thing to do. We usually relate violence with the aggressive expression of demonstrating anger or frustration, but sometimes we forget that violence can also come from desperation or simple monetary gain. During decades, Colombians have been affected by this type of violence, but most specific of a Marxist guerrilla that was never clear about its purposes. But you might be wondering what guerrilla is? Well, according to Ulysses Casas, a Colombian teacher, in 1957 there were two political parties in Colombia, the conservatives and the liberals, just as here you have the Democrats and the Republicans. These two political parties, after having a strong and long fight, decided to make an agreement called National Front. In this agreement, they decided to share the power of the country in an equal way. After this, 10 years later, the guerrilla was created. This group was created in order to defend the rights of the people, but later became a war against people. Guerrilla became part of the ugly drug market, and its signature included death, kidnap, and other forms of violence that make Colombia well known about all around the world, not exactly because of the coffee or our natural richness. After this, all the wealthy people was being affected because of these groups. So they decided to create another group in order to stop all the violence and injustice that was happening at that time. This group was called paramilitares. This group started with really strong ideals and foundations, but with the time they also forgot the ideals, and the drug market became their economic foundation, just as the guerrilla. They also kidnapped, killed, and stole a lot of lands of honest Colombians. Today, I'm going to explain you more deeper about this. I want you to know that I'm not a Colombian who just read this in the news. I'm not a Colombian that learned this in the school. My family was directly affected by the violence at that time. I remember all the threats that my family received. And in fact, I remember when my aunt was kidnapped by the guerrilla. So believe me, I know how was the violence at that time. And having those experiences have actually given me more courage to stand up here in front of you and tell you that, yes, we had violence, but now the reality of Colombia is completely different. Now there is a place full of hope, where there is no reason to feel fear anymore, and where impossible is definitely not a word.
There's a place where people never believed impossible was a word. A place where the rivers wanted to be an ocean, and the ocean grew weary of its solitude and joined a waterfall, the mountain, the snow peaks, and even another ocean. A place where the past lives harmoniously with the future, and the word infinity is written on the colors of the beach, the mountains, the jungle, and the sky.
In darker days, people used to say, if it weren't for the drugs and violence, Colombia would be paradise. Well, drugs may still be there, but violence is gone, at least for now, and it is indeed paradise. Colombia is an easy country to fall in love with. According to the president's webpage of Colombia is located in South America, and is the only country with both Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, divided by the Andean region, and a dense jungle crossed by the mighty Amazon River. Colombian is Pacific and Atlantic, and Amazon all put together. The capital of Colombia is Bogota, a city of futuristic architecture and intellectual and cultural life. Another important cities of Colombia are Cartagena, also known because of its legendary history and its beautiful beaches. We also have Medellin, the fashion capital, and Cali, the salsa dance capital. Colombia is the fourth largest country in South America and is one of the most populous nations in the continent. According to a study that was called Colombian Project written by John Guzman, Colombia is the first producer of emeralds in the world and the first producer of humid coffee all over the world. It is the second producer of butterflies, plants, water-fresh fishes, and butterflies. The fourth country that produces coal and has the biggest mine coal all over the world. But an essential factor that you need to know about Colombia is the values of its people, as well as the passion, determination, and tenacity that we put in everything that we do. Today, I want to invite you to take the risk of
Take the risk to know its variety of climates, landscapes, animal life, colors, sunsets.
In Colombia, we also have outstanding people in different fields. We have writers, scientists, artists, athletes, industrials, and entrepreneurs. Let's just take a look at some of them. We have Fernando Botero's Iron, one of the world's greatest. We have musicians such as Juanes, top world top seller. We also have Shakira, the girl who made entire countries fall in love with her dances and songs. We have people in the sports as well, as Juan Pablo Montoya, our F1 and NASCAR driver. We also have writers such as Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Nobel Prize winner. These are just a tiny fraction of all the talent that you can find in Colombia. Today, I want to encourage you to know more about it, to look beyond what has been established, to discover a paradise where the sun is always overhead, the fecund earth is beneath your feet, where you can find heart-stopping vistas in every single direction, and where dolphins look like they were painted by children. Colombia, the risk is wanting to stay.